I'm Nicole,
I'm Pat.
and welcome to Curious Minds. On our podcast, we're going to talk about some topics that maybe you don't typically hear discussed. Some might be considered conspiracy, or we might talk about some alien things, just things that interest us that we're curious about, and we want to make our own opinions based on our own research doing. But our first topic of discussion is going to be our own personal alien encounter story, which some of you may have seen on TikTok. We've shared a little bit about it, but we're going to take the opportunity here to go a little deeper into it, share some more details that we haven't been able to put out on our TikTok videos, and we're excited to take you along on what got all of this started for us.
Crazy journey.
So, yeah, well, let's go.
So, I wanted to talk first about what made us want to go to Virginia in the first place.
Why we went there?
Yeah.
So, we were there once before. We went for a Morgan Wallen concert, and we only had one extra day to kind of spend while we were there. But we were right on the beach where we were staying, and we were like chilling out on the beach. We loved it, and we couldn't stop thinking about it when we got home. And we were just talking about it so much, and we're like, we want to go back, we want to go back. So we had a free weekend, and we went again.
And when we went again, what happened during the time we were there? What exactly what did we do that led up to what happened with us?
So when we were there, every day we went to the beach. We just spent, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We would go out to the beach every day, just be chilling down at the water. We went to a state park while we were out there and did like a 4-hour long hike. What else?
That hike was fun.
Yeah, it was cool.
That hike was fun. We were there for 4 hours.
Yeah, we were hiking for 4 hours. We were just enjoying our vacation. We literally spent most of the time at the beach because that's what we love doing the most. So we would spend the whole night out there too, looking at the sky. We like to stargaze. So we were doing that and noticing. We did notice little things in the sky, but it wasn't until the very last night where actually tried to record what we saw in the sky, and then that's just when everything
and do you remember
went crazy.
Walking down to the beach?
Oh, yeah.
That night that
yeah.
we were, and just how different the sky looked.
Yeah, and you could feel an energy almost. And I remember saying it to you, it feels weird out here. It felt like static, or just there was something covering the sky. It just felt like there was something in the air when it was otherwise a super clear night.
Yeah.
It was weird.
And then when we were looking up at the sky, do you remember just seeing that thing circling?
Yeah.
And then you pulled out your phone and started
I immediately flipped my phone,
everything.
and you see it was flipping in all different directions and all different colors. And that there was tons of planes flying over that section, and we even saw jets flying over and helicopters because there's so many bases all around there and stuff. But this was definitely not a plane. You could tell the difference. What we were seeing was not planes. And in some of the videos, you can even see a plane flying by, and this is not a plane. But yeah, I remember being oh my God, do you see this? And grabbing my phone and immediately recording, and you could hear me in the videos when I'm oh my God, look what it's doing, look what it's doing.
And then that's about the time where I saw that thing coming out of the water. The childlike looking thing that made no sound when it came out of the water.
Yeah.
And not much longer after that is when I saw that cigar shaped thing.
And I remember when you saw the thing in the water, you can hear me in the one video because I was recording while you noticed that. And I'm talking to you and you weren't responding to me. And I'm going what?
Yeah.
Because I was freaked out because you were just staring off behind me, not telling me what was going on. I'm what? Because you saw that come out of the water?
And then
And what exactly did it do again?
it just came up out of the water again. Like, no, it didn't have a sound like the other thing did. And it just popped up out of the water, a couple feet maybe, and just dipped right back down.
Yeah.
And I remember it so vividly, and that's why I wasn't even talking, because I didn't even know what to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And do you remember exactly like what you were thinking when we started seeing those two clouds and then it like formed?
Yeah. So that was right after the one star or whatever it was that I was recording puffed up and went invisible on my screen. So that cloud came after that. So it was already like, what the hell? Because my phone screen went black. I couldn't use my phone, and like it disappeared when I could still see it with my eyes just on the phone. Like it's like it didn't want the phone to record what was there. And I remember all of a sudden just noticing those clouds, and I was like, where did those clouds come from? Because there's just two random ones. And we're just watching them, and they so quickly just were all the way back here to directly in front of us, and they merged into just one. And we were both staring, and I remember saying to you, I'm like, we need to get off the beach. Like, we need to leave. And like panicking almost because this cloud got bigger like right before our eyes, and it was just literally getting bigger and closer and closer. Like it felt like we were going to be able to touch it. Like it would have been right there if we didn't go in that moment.
And then after that, I remember you grabbing the beach chairs and you hustled back.
Yeah,
like
I was like, we need to go. And I grabbed the chairs and I ran. I remember I had garbage. I like threw it into the can and I missed. And it's terrible. Like I'm not a litterer, but like in that moment, I was like, I can't even get that. I need to just run. I need to go. And I look back thinking you're right behind me and you're still on the beach fighting with the cooler. And I was like, what the heck is happening? Because you couldn't move.
The same cooler that I moved so many times back and forth from the beach.
Completely stuck, just right in place. Like, and then all of a sudden it was like something just let go and you were able to move. And there was nothing there that you were stuck on. It was literally just sand.
My heels were literally.
Yeah, you were dug into the ground, like both arms yanking as hard as you can. Like it looked like a mime almost, how like they pretend, but like you weren't, like I could tell you could not move the cooler. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like screaming at you. And then all of a sudden you come running down.
Just remember hearing you screaming, babe, what are you doing?
Yeah, I was panicking in that moment. I was scared because I had no idea.
So like after all that happened, what freaked you out the most when we got back before we even left home? Like left
to go home?
Left to go home, yeah.
What freaked me out the most was that cloud, honestly, freaked me out because it was falling down on us. And I was like, what the fuck just was that? And in my mind, I just was like, we just saw something I don't think we were supposed to see. So that's where my mind immediately went. And I was like, I feel like we just witnessed something we were not supposed to see. You could feel it. Like we both felt it, I think, like this like tension, like just felt really heavy after that. Like what we saw was not, we weren't meant to.
The room didn't feel right.
No, nothing felt right.
The car beeped and it was definitely our car.
It was my car that beeped when nobody was touching the keys. It was like somebody was giving us a warning that we needed to leave. And that's when we looked at each other and it was like 1 a.m, had no sleep. And we were just like, we need to go. Like, I don't feel comfortable staying. Like something was telling us we needed to go. And I'm so glad we did, because what we saw while we were driving home over that bridge, I think, was coming for us.
Yeah, because as we were driving over the bridge, nobody was on the road.
Literally nobody on the road, and then a convoy of black cars, one behind the other, on the opposite direction, like they were going to where we were. And it just, is that just a coincidence, or Was it something? And just the way it felt like in my gut, like they were coming because we saw something we shouldn't have.
And that's where it led to
And
today.
now here we are, here,
Still,
still dealing with things and experiencing things. And some of it has been amazing and wonderful
oh yeah,
because
absolutely.
it has opened like up so much. But then there's this whole dark side to it that is just so crazy that it's kind of hard to comprehend that it's actually real or like shit like this goes on and that we're dealing with it.
Yeah.
Like, what did we see on the beach that night?
Was it alien? Was it?
I think we saw a mix of both. And
Yeah, I think so too.
just continuing with our story, like, we have always believed in aliens and things like that. It's something that we've always thought there was more out there. And we have open minds to it. And ever since that experience, like, I think we had an alien encounter and we also had a government encounter. I think we had a mix of both. And in turn, like, we've made some really great friends.
Yeah, we have.
In
Like, you guys have been awesome.
And not just you guys, in aliens, extraterrestrials, whatever
too.
you want to call it, because it has opened a line of communication between us and them now where we can communicate and we are learning things and finding things out and getting answers to questions that we've had about this experience, and they kind of helped confirm or clarify, which has been really amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
And just helped us find our circle of people as well.
And with everything like happening in the world nowadays, it's good that people can possibly have an open mind to things like this, because there are a lot of things going on behind the scenes that are clearly
there's just like a lot of things that need to be taken with a grain of salt, and I think people need to not put so much weight in things that they hear on the news or in the media, and like go out there and do your own research and find the answers for yourself. The answer will speak to you if you just do your own research on it.
Yeah, and it's I just feel like it's all power move for them, but the ones that are here trying to help are just here for good.
Yeah.
Like, they're not bad.
Yeah.
Like,
and ever since that experience, like every time they have communicated, it has been for good. Like, they've communicated things to you that
things that could actually help,
that are to help, and alls that we're sharing is the message that they're giving is that people now are at a time where we need to come together and unite and go against what we're so used to.
And it's not, and their big message is, it's not just about one person, it's about everybody. Everybody being peaceful and thriving. And I do feel like with the way things are going, people are starting to see it.
I think people are too. And, they don't want to engage, but they will if they have to.
Absolutely, yeah.
And they want us to figure it out for ourselves, but unfortunately, as humans, we're so flawed and not capable of doing that. But the one thing I do know is that this has become a big passion project for us. And it's not something that we're going to ever stop talking about. And there's things that we have been dealing with that needs to be put out to the world so people can understand, like regular people can go through these things and deal with these things, and that we shouldn't have to worry about keeping quiet about it because it shouldn't be happening to begin with. So that's one thing, is we'll never be quiet about this topic.
No, we won't.
Because it's our whole life. And I'm going to keep doing what I know is right, and so is he, because it's going to just help make the future better, and that's all we want. So,
And if you try to shut us down, we're going to keep fighting.
mm-hmm.
We're not going to stop.
Yeah, that's
So,
why we moved over to this platform. We're going to keep talking. We're going to keep sharing. Ever since we've had this encounter in Virginia, for those of you who have been following along, like, it has been crazy, and we've barely like tapped into what has been happening. But
and also for everyone who's actually new to the channel, like from YouTube, who hasn't seen the TikTok videos, we have about a 10-part series, 10-part
yeah.
on TikTok. And if you want to go check that out, we'll put the link in the bio for this video so you could check out our 10-part series on TikTok about like go into more detail about everything that exactly happened.
Yeah, because we've been dealing with some ET contact, which has been amazing. It's not something we're afraid of. But then we've also been dealing with some human contact with people that don't want certain people to share what they're experiencing. And I'm going to share it because it's my truth, it's his truth, and it is what's happening. There's no denying it. And it's facts. So I'm going to share it because it's my truth and it's what's going on. So,
And
if people don't want things to be spoken about, then maybe they shouldn't be doing it to begin with, like I've said.
And to go off what Nicole said, it's something that we've been so passionate about. We're like dedicating all of our time and our work towards this, not just for us, but for you guys and everybody else.
Mm-hmm. We want to start, whatever you want to call it, disclosing or
like releasing.
releasing, just putting out information that we find that we feel does hold some weight, or that there might be something like relevant here or some useful information, and we want to like share how we interpret it with you guys, and hopefully just open other people's eyes to just maybe seeing other ways of thinking or looking at things a little bit differently, like having more of a skeptic eye to things, and truly making your own judgment by doing your own research and finding your own evidence.
Yeah.
So,
And we're not here to force anything on anybody
no.
at all. We just want people to have an open mind. And if you choose not to go with it, that's completely fine.
Yeah.
Just hear us out and listen to what we have to say. And if you don't agree with it, then it's fine. We're not forcing anything.
But the one thing that I will say is that I think we're at a point in our world where we need each other more than ever. Like, we are all anybody has. Like, alls we have is each other. They, the government, whatever you want to call them, they don't give a shit about any of us. But we all have each other, like I said, and we can all do something to make things better for the rest of us.
Yeah, absolutely. And we all have that power.
Mm-hmm. And I love that this starting to share our experience has helped us find our little community of people who understand. And
because like we're all one. Like we all share the same consciousness.
We do.
And that right there alone is the biggest thing that people can realize.
Yeah.
Is that everybody, not just on this planet, but in the entire universe, shares some part of the same consciousness.
Yeah.
Everything shares that.
Everything does, yeah. Like how somebody comes up with an invention on like one side of the world and then somebody on the other side does too. It's like it's a collective conscious. It just came to certain people who could do something with that in their brain. Like it finds who it needs to, but it's one collective.
Right.
So yeah, that was just a little backstory to kind of what got us to where we are today with this podcast and our TikTok and everything else. So we appreciate you guys being here and listening, and we can't wait to share more.
And if you guys enjoyed today's video, today's content, please drop a like, hit the subscribe button, drop a comment, and let us know if there's anything you'd like us to get into next, or even stuff off topic if you want us to get into other things.
Yeah, any sort of topic that you want us to dive deeper into, we'll do some research and we could make an episode about it because we're curious, just like a lot of you guys are. So,
thank you guys.
bye.